Bear in mind, not unlike Rothschild, right? The original last name was Bauer. This I'm talking about the Windsors in this case. You know, the royal family, which isn't royal. I don't remember their original last name. It's somewhere in the research. You could look it up. There's a reason why they changed it, and it's because they were associated with Germany. Now would be a good time to also buff up on, Ashkenazi, one of the three branches of Judaism, which happens to have its ties in Germany and Europe. You with me? I mean, by most accounts, the royal family moved, crudely speaking, over the years from Germany to Europe and changed their name. And this is what people call the royal family. That's a shitty version, mind you. You can find more detailed notes. What I asked is, does the royal family, the Windsors, have Jewish blood? And this is what Google will tell you, surprisingly. While the British royal family, the House of Windsor, is officially Anglican, my asshole, genealogical research suggests distant Jewish ancestry in their lineage. I'm going to read that again. Genealogical research suggests distant Jewish ancestry in their lineage. Specifically, a direct line has been traced to Paloma bin Yahya, a Sephardic Jew. Now, keep in mind, that's another one of the branches having to do with the three branches of Judaism. Interestingly enough, this isn't the one that has to do with Asia. This is the one that technically should have to do with Africa. In other words, it should be, more melanin in the skin, and yet the Windsors are a lighter variety, which once again speaks to Ashkenazi, not Sephardic. What do I know? But keep going. Let's keep going. So Sephardic Jew from Portugal, whose family claimed descent from the house of, I can't pronounce that. It looks like exile almost. Looks like exile arches. This ancestry connects to Queen Elizabeth II through her ancestor King Ferdinand II of Aragon. What I was also going to mention is, we just talked about Portugal and a number of things. The royal family is intimately connected with people in Spain known as the black nobility. This is also where unconstitutional taxes are crudely funneled. Two of the houses that I usually rattle off having to do with, at least I think it's 7 houses if memory serves me, House of Orange and House of Liechtenstein. These are relevant in the event that you're shown this post and it's not censored on the Zionist DARPA internet. And as for this other jazz, you could take a screenshot. You can knock this out. You could put in the time. I highly doubt people are bringing this up. And the algorithm is scrubbing the internet for any talk about Jewish this, that, and the other thing, because it's clearly a fucking agenda. It's all red flags, and you would realize as much if you were using your fucking brain. Yeah. What do I know? What do I know? If you hung out, well, I'm surprised. Here's a bit of Seminar 8, my least favorite thing to talk about. As it reads, the first tier, the old aristocracy, or aristocracy is how I should say it, pardon me, aka black nobility from the, I can never say it right, aristocracy of Europe. Blonde, blue-eyed Viking nobility bred into the black nobility. In the event that it's unfamiliar to you, in the 12th century, Italy married into the royal family, and that's what I was alluding to, just to be perfectly fucking clear. Here's another quick note from Seminar 8, which Google failed to mention. The Queen of England's lineage is said to trace clear back to Abraham. A Jew. Just to be clear. The jazz towards the bottoms also, it's interesting. The Stone of Jacob, bear in mind, Jacob is what? You should be able to answer this question by this point. And it just so happens to do with that earthly abomination, also having to do with Judaism. The Stone of Jacob, a Hebrew relic, lies beneath the chair used in crowning ceremonies. The queen was crowned on, it has 2 ons, maybe it should say one a step pyramid. Either way, sorry to me, it's not the finest document. The monarch's crown has 12 stones around its diameter, likely symbolic of the 12 tribes of Jacob. Hence the Stone of Jacob. Have you ever heard that before? Chances are you haven't, because I can teach you things you're not supposed to know. Most superficial internet babies are retards. They confuse entertainment with research. They have traction on the DARPA internet because the algorithm circulates retarded bullshit that people can't use as a tool. It's not beneficial to you and I, and it's garbage that's technically making things worse and worse and worse by the day. Just to be painfully fucking clear. But as always, what the fuck do I know? This is what a superficial Google search will spoon feed us. The British royal family's original last name before they changed it to Windsor in 1917 was Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. King George V changed the name to eliminate the German-sounding name during World War I due to rising anti-German sentiment and to appear more patriotic, adopting the name of the historic Windsor Castle. How many of you were aware of this? I lied. Seminar 8 does not contain what I thought it held in there. Technically, it's Seminar 5, which I don't discuss very often. I don't know if this YouTube channel still exists. You see the keywords on here. You could take the time to plug this in. Perhaps that particular video, is still alive and well. You never know. As this reads, Edward VII orchestrated World War I. Following this, the natural progression was communism, aka socialism, aka Nazis, aka democracy, the Cold War, so on and so forth. Just to be clear, 1916 to 1917, the ruling house of Hanover, aka Saxon-Coburg-Gotha, aka Guelph, aka Guelph, different spelling. There's also a province or a town in Canada named Guelph. It's relevant. Aka Wealth. AKA, and there's two AKs because again I need to proofread a lot of this. De Within, the Within, probably with a V because the W's are pronounced that way, became the House of Windsor. I need you to appreciate what I showed you having to do with the seminars. What's typed up in here? This jazz is over 13 years old, at least. At least. I'm going to spoon feed you a little bit more from Seminar 5. As it reads, and bear in mind, I am spending my time and energy trying to help you. I shouldn't have to say shit like that, but superficial people don't understand as much these days. Yeah. Side note, Prince Philip is on record claiming he would like to be reincarnated as a deadly virus so that he could wipe out the excess population, based on the assumption that the population outpaces food production, which is backwards. What proof do you have of the current trumped-up number that supposedly, and this is poorly worded on my behalf, and I need to edit it, like I said, supposed to reflect how many people are on this rock? Zero proof, but people repeat it. I'm talking about population. The numbers attributed to it are absolutely, it's based on pseudoscience, and it's absolute rot. The fact that there are large expanses of land, proves my point. If overpopulation was a thing, you wouldn't have any. I couldn't be sitting in this house right now where I'm at by myself. Just to be clear. Be perfectly clear, I imagine, but you'd have to think about it. Prince Philip's best mate was, quote unquote, Prince Bernard of Holland, who coincidentally founded the Bilderberg Group. Have you ever been spoon-fed that? Probably not. Quote-unquote Prince Bernard wasn't much of a prince at all. Technically, he was a German nobleman who had very little wealth to his name. He married into the House of Orange. I mentioned that, did I not? Having to do with the black nobility. Bear in mind, the black nobility is on the family crest, having to do with the Windsors. The new version of their name, the Windsors. So he married into the House of Orange, who has competed, with the House of Windsor, which competes with one another to this day as the wealthiest family trusts in our realm. Understand, you and I exist somewhere. What you and I are aware of is not the totality of the world. When you hear people waxing poetic about it, it's just as dumb as claiming that you could embody wisdom. Despite the fact that you're made of flesh and blood and you carry light, you can acquire knowledge, but you will never touch wisdom. You won't come anywhere close to it, which means you and I are not surrounded by people who are wise, and it's an outright fallacy. Just like waxing poetic about the world. Does that make sense? If not, think about it. Where are we at? Naturally, you don't hear, and it should say much. Yeah, it should say much, but I misspelling and or I was drunk when I typed this. Much, if anything, about either of them, which is why the quote-unquote truth community, the circle jerk that it is, doesn't discuss these topics. They haven't been fed information to repeat. Quote-unquote Prince Bernard was once a member of the Nazis, SA. Keep in mind, in many ways, that's exactly what ICE is today. I left a video online, piggybacked off of somebody else's video, and it's dead on. It's not the Gestapo, if you're paying attention, but most people know of the Gestapo, which is why I think most people would probably also argue in favor of that. Which is it a misnomer, a fallacy? It's incorrect. That much needs to be said. Yeah, so this guy was part of the Nazi SA. That's a problem. You know, stormtroopers, aka stormtroopers, the brown shirts, who worked his way up and became part of the elite stormtrooper SS black shirts. Now remember, the Windsors changed their name. The Windsors relate to Germany. This is somebody the Windsors affiliated, well, I should say Prince Philip's best mate was, quote-unquote, Prince Bernard, who was not, you know, like I said, wealthy, but they called him a prince. It sounds like people are putting on a show, you know, fake it till you make it. And these people, you know, they run us like dogs and we put bread on their table. It worked, because good people tend to be gullible. And we totally fucked ourselves. Our forefathers fucked us, and we're still fucking ourselves. And we're fucking the people that are, you know, going to come afterwards. Because people aren't doing the right thing to see that this shit stops. The point is to pull up the weeds at the root. But really the point's to, you know, beat the bushes, you know, shake out all the snakes, and lop off their goddamn heads. Just to be clear. Back to point. The only way to accomplish being inducted into the elite SS was to be a nobleman. Have you ever heard that? Allegedly, and keep in mind, you need to verify this information. You need to cross-reference this information. Don't buy into what I said. Look into what I said. Assume everything and anything myself or anybody else ever imparts to you is bullshit. Don't click repost. Don't regurgitate things. Do your utmost. Be diligent. Put in the time. Don't be a dumb fuck. How many people urge you to do that? As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one these days. I haven't seen anybody else say anything even remotely close to that in the last, especially 8 years, if not longer. Nowhere even close. Back to point. Allegedly, when he married into the House of Orange, he resigned all affiliations with the Nazi Party. Aww, that sounds believable and cute, even though he was pretending to be noble, you know, and wealthy, and that was an outright lie. What are the chances that this might be a lie, too? Do remember, Prince Philip's best mate was, quote-unquote, Prince Bernard of fuck all of Holland. If you hung out, I'm spending time and energy on you. Put in the time. Tell your friends if they're not bags of meat. And if they are, challenge them for a while, and I mean long term. Encourage people around you to do the right thing. Because you and I are surrounded by fucking idiots.